Imagine a hospital nursery. You stand in the hall and gaze through the window at a room of newborn babies. They lie in acrylic trays, wrapped in pink or blue blankets. Some are asleep, others are crying. These babies are all precious and lovable. They are all important and deserve attention and care. They are equally valuable. However, in 24 to 48 hours, each baby will leave this nursery and will be taken home. Each home will be different. As the babies grow, their experiences will be determined by the unique traits of each family. Some babies will go to homes where they are loved and treasured. Those babies will feel loved and valued. They will feel wanted. Other babies will go to homes where there is frequent conflict. As they grow, they will experience tension and fear. They may be put in the middle and feel forced to choose a side. These experiences may turn into anxiety or anger. Some will go to homes where they receive patience and attention. They will receive reassurance and encouragement when they fail. They will feel important and competent. Others will be criticized or put down when they make the mistakes that all children make. Those critical words will make the child feel defective, inadequate, or worthless. The child will learn to expect judgment or disapproval. Some will go to homes where they are sheltered and protected. Those children will feel safe, comfortable, and calm. In that atmosphere of safety, they will be able to learn and grow. Other babies will go to homes where they are abused. The abuse may be emotional, physical, or sexual. As they grow, those children will learn to see themselves as broken, defective, or dirty. They will learn to feel shame. The children aren't different. The homes are different. The treatment the child receives depends on the nature of the caregivers, not the worth of the child. The child doesn't know this. The child assumes the blame. They ask what they did wrong to make it happen. A wound of the heart occurs. The wound of the heart redefines the child's identity, not who the child is, but who she believes that she is. Being criticized can make the child feel inadequate or incompetent. Being abandoned or rejected can make the child feel unimportant or not lovable. Sometimes wounds of the heart come from experiences with other children. Earlier wounds can be worsened by criticism or rejection from peers. Wounds of the heart can lead to depression and anxiety. The child can feel alone, helpless, or hopeless. It doesn't have to be this way. Wounds of the heart can be healed through proper understanding and relearning. If a negative self-esteem is learned, it can be unlearned. Healing your wound of the heart can change your perception of who you are. Healing the wound can change your perspective of life. It can change the way you live your life. It can change your life. You can do it. It doesn't matter whether you are young or old. Wounds of the heart can be healed at any time. Wouldn't now be a good time?
Hello, I'm Dr. Terry Ledford, and I want to welcome you to Reclaiming Your Positive Self-Esteem. I've been providing outpatient psychotherapy for the past 31 years, and I've seen so many people who suffer because of negative beliefs about themselves. These beliefs often lead to depression, anxiety, and relationship problems. In this course, we examine the causes of those negative beliefs and give you tools to finally eliminate them. Our negative perceptions of ourselves can be changed, and this course provides a giant step toward that end. The course is a video of a live workshop that I've done several times, and the response has been amazing. Many people have reported that their self-esteem improved significantly. The course is based on the material from my book, Parables for a Wounded Heart. The subtitle for the book is Overcoming the Wounds to Your Self-Esteem and Transforming Your Perception of You. While this course can be beneficial by itself, you will achieve the most benefit if you also read the book and complete the exercises at the end of each chapter. If you're a clinician or counselor, you may also be interested in the Train the Trainer program that I developed called Finding Me, Healing Self-Esteem Wounds Created by Childhood Abuse and Trauma. You can learn more about this program and other tools that I've developed at my website, www.terryledford.com. So now, let's get started reclaiming your positive self-esteem. But sometimes what we think is negative, like, how could I be so stupid? I can't do anything right. Well, they don't like me. The things that we think to ourselves is our self-talk. We call it automatic self-talk because we don't normally question what we say to ourselves. You see, if anybody else says something to you, anything, you have this moment where you decide whether you agree with them or not. Do they know what they're talking about? Are they biased? Are they trying to sell me something? Do I agree with their opinion or do I disagree? But when you think something to yourself in your head, when you say it within yourself, in your self-talk, you don't question it. It just flows through. So what we say to ourselves is tremendously impactful because we do it all our waking hours, from the time we wake up till the time we go to sleep at night. And what we think to ourselves has an impact on our mood. I want to tell you another story. This is a story that was loosely based. It was inspired by a poem from the early 1940s by a woman named Myra Welch, and the name of the poem was "The Touch of the Master's Hand." But I changed it to illustrate the idea here. There was a family that wanted to buy a house. So they got a real estate agent and they looked at houses and they found one that they really liked. Now the house that they liked was a two-story white house. It was out in the country, had some land around it. It was an older house. And the family that had lived there previously had moved away months before and actually moved to another part of the country. So the house was empty when they got there and they liked it. So they put an offer through the realtor and they bought the house. Well, the day came for them to move in, so they're moving their stuff in out of the trucks, and they had some stuff that they wanted to store in the attic. So they climbed the stairs to put it up in the attic, and when they got up to the attic and they rounded the corner of the attic, they saw that this previous family that had owned the house had left a pile of trash up in the attic. Now, they got irritated because they didn't clean the house out completely, but they didn't have time to deal with it that day. They had to get their stuff out of the trucks, so they just thought, well, we'll take care of it later. So they put their stuff in front of it and thought they'd come back and fix it, throw it away. They forgot about it for about 5 years. But 5 years later, they decided they wanted to have a yard sale. So they went up into the attic to get the stuff for their yard sale, and they found this pile of trash again. Well, today was a better day to clean it out. So they got some trash bags and they filled them up. But there were some things in the pile of trash that they thought they might be able to sell at the yard sale. One of the things that they found in there was an old violin in a violin case. They didn't have any idea what kind of value to put on a violin, so they put a $20 price tag on it, and they put it out at the yard sale. Now, the violin looked to be in pretty good shape, but the case was muddy and dirty and dusty and had not been taken care of at all. So the day for the yard sale came. It was a spring day. It was warm, it was pretty. And they put tables out in their front yard to put their stuff on. They had a lot of shoppers for the yard sale, and they sold a lot of stuff. It was getting close to lunchtime, and there were a few shoppers milling around from table to table, and there was the yard sale, the violin was still on the table. Nobody had wanted a violin that day. But a car pulls up, and an old man gets out of the car, very tall and very thin. And he goes from table to table looking at the stuff, and he comes to the table with the violin. And he stops and he stares and he studies it. After a while, the owner of the home comes over there, and the old man speaks and he says, "Would you mind if I took it out of the case?" The owner says, "No, help yourself." So he takes it out of the case very gently, and he looks at it, studies it front and back.
And then the old man says, would you mind if I tuned it? And the owner said, no, help yourself. So he tunes each of the 4 strings until he's satisfied with the sound. And then the old man said, would you mind if I played it? And the owner said, not if you know how. So this old man takes the violin, puts it up under his chin, and he begins to play. And he plays the most beautiful violin music. It drifts across the yard in the sunshine, and all the shoppers stop and listen and stare. And after a while, when he finishes, he takes it out from under his chin, he puts it back into the case. And the owner of the house says, Mister, you make that thing sing. You need that violin. It's just $20. And the old man said, I can't pay you $20 for it. And the owner says, well, how about 15? And the old man says, sir, you don't understand. I have no idea how you got this without knowing what you have. But if you look in the sound hole, there's a mark. And it's the mark of Antonio Stradivari. This is a Stradivarius violin. Every Stradivarius violin is worth over $1 million. This one may be worth $2 million because Stradivarius violins were created by the greatest violin maker ever. Now, the violin was treated like trash by the previous family. It was put up in the attic. It was left with the trash. They left it behind when they moved. The violin was treated like trash by the new family. They left it up there for 5 years and never touched it. When they got it out, they put a $20 price tag on it. The violin was treated like trash by the yard sale shoppers. They left it on the table for $20. It took the old man to recognize the value of the violin. And he recognized its value because it had the mark of its creator. And its creator never made anything but precious instruments. Now, sometimes children are treated like trash. Sometimes they're ignored or abandoned or left behind. And yet, they were made by their creator who never makes anything but precious instruments.